World War I, a conflict that raged from 1914 to 1918, stands as a pivotal moment in human history. It irrevocably transformed the world, leaving an indelible mark on the political and social landscape. In the years leading up to the war, Europe was a powder keg, a continent simmering with tension. This volatile atmosphere was fueled by a potent mix of fervent nationalism, aggressive imperialism, and rampant militarism. A complex web of alliances had split the continent into two opposing camps. On one side, the Triple Entente, comprised of Great Britain, France, and Russia, and on the other, the Triple Alliance, consisting of Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy. Amidst this fragile peace, a single fateful event would set off an unstoppable chain reaction: the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, in Sarajevo. The assassin was Gavrilo Princip, a Serbian nationalist. Austria-Hungary, with the firm backing of Germany, swiftly declared war on Serbia, holding them responsible for the assassination. Russia, bound by treaty to Serbia, mobilized its forces to defend its Slavic ally. This act of mobilization prompted Germany to declare war not only on Russia but also on France, Russia's ally. To swiftly engage France, Germany invaded neutral Belgium, violating its sovereignty. This violation of Belgian neutrality drew Great Britain into the escalating conflict. In a matter of mere weeks, a localized crisis had spiraled into a full-blown global war, engulfing much of Europe. The intricate alliance system, designed to maintain peace, ironically turned a single spark into a raging wildfire. Europe was plunged into utter chaos as nations mobilized their armies and prepared for a long and brutal struggle. Millions of young men were swept into battle, eager to defend their homelands and prove their valor. The world as they knew it was about to change forever, and it would never be the same again. The Great War, a conflict of unprecedented scale and devastation, had officially begun. The initial enthusiasm and hopes for a swift and decisive victory quickly vanished, replaced by the grim reality of a protracted conflict. As the war bogged down, both sides dug in, entrenching themselves in a vast network of defensive positions. The Western Front transformed into a complex maze of interconnected trenches, stretching over 400 miles from the North Sea all the way to Switzerland. Life in the trenches was a constant state of misery. Mud that never dried, swarms of disease-carrying rats, and the constant danger of enemy fire. No man's land, the area between opposing trenches separated enemies and was littered with tangled barbed wire, water-filled shell craters, and the decaying remains of previous battles. New and terrifying weapons, like the rapid-firing machine guns, the devastating long-range artillery, and the insidious poison gas, made attacks incredibly deadly, often resulting in minimal territorial gains. Soldiers wore newly designed steel helmets and cumbersome gas masks, but despite these protections, casualties soared to unprecedented levels. Battles like the Somme and Verdun cost hundreds of thousands of lives on each side, often for the gain of just a few yards of territory. The rapid advancement of technology made war more brutal, destructive, and impersonal than ever before. The seemingly endless stalemate dragged on with no clear end in sight, leaving a generation scarred by the horrors of trench warfare. While the West was locked in stalemate, the Eastern Front saw shifting battles. Russia suffered huge losses, leading to revolution and its withdrawal from the war. Tanks appeared, breaking the deadlock of trench warfare. In 1917, the United States joined the Allies after German U-boat attacks and the Zimmermann telegram. American troops and resources tipped the balance. On the home front, women filled jobs left by men, changing society forever. Governments rationed food and controlled economies to support the war effort. The war touched every life, not just those on the battlefield. The world was being reshaped by conflict. The Allies gained the upper hand. By 1918, Germany's final, desperate offensive aimed at breaking the Allied lines had failed. The German army, stretched thin and depleted after years of brutal fighting, could no longer sustain its war effort. The tide had turned decisively as Allied forces, now significantly bolstered by fresh American troops and resources, relentlessly pushed back the exhausted German lines. The influx of American manpower and industrial might proved to be a crucial turning point. The Central Powers, weakened by internal strife and dwindling supplies, began to collapse one by one, signaling the imminent end of the conflict. Austria-Hungary, the Ottoman Empire, and Bulgaria all sued for peace. Germany faced widespread revolution at home, fueled by war weariness and economic hardship. The Kaiser, Wilhelm II, facing mounting pressure and the loss of his authority, was forced to abdicate his throne and flee into exile. Finally, an armistice was signed, bringing an end to the fighting on November 11, 1918 at the 11th hour. The cost of this global conflict was staggering: over 16 million dead, 20 million wounded, and Europe lay in ruins, its landscape scarred by years of relentless bombardment and trench warfare. Empires fell, new nations emerged from the ashes of the old, and the Treaty of Versailles, intended to secure lasting peace, instead punished Germany harshly, imposing crippling reparations and territorial losses. Resentment over the treaty, particularly in Germany, sowed the seeds for future conflict and instability in Europe. The war fundamentally changed borders, societies, and the global balance of power, ushering in a new era of international relations. The war to end all wars, as it was optimistically called, left behind a complicated and often contradictory legacy. Its profound impact on the 20th century and beyond still echoes today, shaping our world in countless ways. The world was forever changed by the Great War, a cataclysmic event that continues to resonate through history.